Everybody, welcome back to the Factory Reset podcast. In these, we chat with you guys, provide as much value as we can, and hopefully a little bit of entertainment. We try to keep it as, energetic and entertaining and fun as possible. So, what are we talking about today, Cassie?
Today, we're going to talk about common mistakes when you first start BJJ or Muay Thai.
Yeah, so common mistakes, and honestly, I'm going to be not only giving a lot of the common mistakes that I see, but we can even be kind of comparing it a little bit to common mistakes in fitness and things like that, because it's something that Cassie has had a lot of experience in as well. So hopefully we can give you guys...
I don't have a lot of experience in mistakes. Rude.
I meant experience from a coaching perspective in... That's true. Debatable. Anyway, common mistakes that we see a lot. So, you're starting out in Jiu-Jitsu, you're starting out in Muay Thai. What are some things that you can actually do to prevent yourself from falling into ruts, from wanting to quit, from losing consistency, from not seeing the progress that you want to see right from the beginning? So, one of the things that I always talk to men about, and this is specifically to men, I don't really see it a lot with women, but one of the things that I see with men significantly is an overuse of strength and athleticism. And it's honestly because as men, when we grow up, we're competing against a lot of other men, and when technique can't be mastered, strength and athleticism has to take over. It's probably something you see a lot in CrossFit specifically with men as well, because I've heard you say the stories where when you were coaching, you'd have new men come in, and maybe that the men had lifted weights at a fitness gym or whatever, and they come in and they're doing something like an Olympic lift, and they just muscle it up, like a snatch, right? So,
do you think that you don't see it a lot in women because we're not as strong as you, and you just don't feel like you get as much pull or push from them? Or do you think women only just use their strength against other women?
Well, that's an interesting topic, because women might use a lot of their strength against other women, but against men, I feel like through a lot of training, from what I've seen, it feels like women automatically know that they're not going to outstrength most men, so they start just relying on intelligence, relying on technique, and it makes it so it doesn't become an option for them. So they don't automatically default to, I'm going to try to outstrength this guy. Every now and then you see it. I've had girls, and it's quite hilarious, because it's not in a degrading way, because it's something that you don't expect, and you're starting, you clap bump to start, and all of a sudden the girl just linebacker tackles you, and you're just like, oh shit, that was pretty funny. It was I was not expecting that because most women, when they first start, they're very conscious of, well, my hands should be here, well, the placement of this should be here, my body should be back. It's very technical.
Okay.
Because they're not used to relying on that strength, especially against men. So it doesn't come as a default that they have to start with that. Whereas men, you get so many men that immediately begin with, I'm going to outmuscle everybody. And the funny thing, and this is degrading to men, and I will say this as a man, and I don't mind, it's they don't learn. it's they start with the strength against somebody who's a superior in technique, and then when it fails, the next round, it's not like they go, well, strength didn't work on that one. Let's try something else. They go, strength didn't work on that one. You know what the answer is?
Try harder.
More strength. And then they go harder with the strength. And then after the second one, strength didn't work on that one either. You know what I need to do? Coach, should I be lifting weights?
Do I need to lift?
Do I need to be stronger? Is that the answer for this right now? Should I be stronger? It's no.
Where's somebody smaller than me that I can outmuscle?
Yeah, and then it starts going, well, I'm going to use strength on that guy because he looks little. And then when that guy's a little brown belt, Coach, I need more strength.
Coach, more weights.
More weights. How should I be lifting to be stronger to use my jiu-jitsu against that person? Well, you're actually not using jiu-jitsu on that person. You're actually using weightlifting on that person. And unfortunately, weightlifting only works in jiu-jitsu when the technique is the same, right? So and you know, you can go a little bit up, right? So strength can outdo technique when it's close. When the technique is slightly superior, strength can make up the difference. And we do that a lot. We talk about that a lot. It's something that jiu-jitsu athletes and fighters are told a lot by coaches is strength doesn't matter in martial arts, and that's complete bullshit, right? Strength obviously matters, right? If I'm super weak, it does not matter how good my technique is if I don't even have the strength to execute the leverage correctly.
Yeah.
You know, so, and it does matter. And obviously the more that you have strength to go along with your technique, the more powerful your techniques can be, because it's strength at the end of the lever. The more strength you have at the end of the lever that you can create, the more leverage you can actually apply on an individual. So, you know, strength actually does have a pretty significant effect on it, but it's something that when you rely on it early on, you have a certain amount of bandwidth, right? You have a certain amount of focus, amount of energy that you can like put into learning. And when you take up 90% of that with strength and you only leave 10% of that in focusing on the actual technique, you slow down your progress so much. And we see it a lot. It's when you're first a white belt, all the guys use strength. Almost all the guys use strength. Almost all the guys use strength. And what happens is that as people start progressing into blue belt, they start realizing that the strength has less and less effect on the outcome of the fight, because the techniques start kind of outweighing the strength. People learn how to mitigate strength with technique, and it makes it so it becomes less and less useful. And the problem is that we still have some guys who are like, I just need to get stronger. You know, it's like, come on, guys, like learning. We need to learn from these mistakes. All right, so that's one of the most common ones, and I'm sure you've seen it in the fitness Olympic lifting.
I mean, when we're weightlifting, it doesn't matter what we're weightlifting. It could be a conventional deadlift. It could be an Olympic lift. Every male typically wants to throw on more weight than they probably should. But then you also have the complete reverse opposite on the female side. They don't want to lift weights at all.
Well, you know, as a female, if you lift weights, you're going to get jacked and huge and look like a boy.
So
I'm pretty sure that's the case. I'm pretty sure that if you even touch a heavy weight, you will get bulky.
Apparently I'm huge and I look like a man. But it's just one of those things that I feel like the more you go to the gym or attend class or whatever your style is, BJJ, CrossFit, Muay Thai, I think your mindset grows. Hopefully it grows and it changes so that you can adapt into
lifting more weights.
being better receptive to what your coaches are telling you and what your training partners are telling you, so that you can progress in that sport.
And
level up on your belts, level up in I don't know how you level up in Muay Thai, but how you level up in Muay Thai. Okay.
Fights. Anybody who says Muay Thai has a ranking system is just trying to get money out of me. I'm serious. It's like Muay Thai does not have a ranking system. Some institutions have created a ranking system for Muay Thai, and we've discussed it in the past just to help people to work on, like, have something to work towards. Towards. But in reality, Muay Thai is just about fights. It's about time in and fight records. That's all it is.
So what common mistakes do you see in Muay Thai?
Well, honestly, the funny thing is I was just about to bring that up. It's the exact same thing. But
hitting and kicking.
So we start off with pads. If I'm teaching somebody how to throw a jab, a cross, and a hook on the pads, the ladies will start off like this. And hook with like just arm, just really just trying to focus on touching it.
Exactly
and the guys will like throw in hard on the front. And I'm like, guys, like, you're not making an Instagram highlight reel right now. Like,
are you sure they might be?
They might be. I haven't seen the cameras, but maybe they're practicing for it. But the idea is that you have to start slow to build the skill. It's the analogy that, or the saying that we always use is slow equals fast, fast equals smooth, smooth equals deadly. You know, I probably said that wrong.
I really like that.
So I probably said that wrong.
Wow.
I'm sorry. Slow equals smooth, smooth equals fast, fast equals deadly. I probably said that a little bit wrong. But anyway, we didn't rehearse this. So, and I didn't have that written down anywhere. So that was just off the top of my head. So it was probably slightly wrong. But no, but that's the truth, right? So whenever we're learning a technique, if I'm learning a lift, if I'm learning deadlift, and I throw on a bunch of weights, the object isn't to then pick it up as fast as possible.
Well, sometimes it is.
Okay. The object when I'm learning is not to pick it up as fast as possible.
Correct.
Don't listen to her. The object is not to pick it up as fast as possible. The object is to make sure, are my feet in the correct position? Is my back straight? Are my hands in the correct positions?
Just
right?
to make sure that you're not going to injure yourself.
Yeah, you don't want to jack yourself
Yeah.
up, and you have to make sure that you have the form correct, because when you actually do put weight on there, if your form isn't correct, you are going to like throw out your back or something. You know, you're going to probably cause some damage. But the same thing happens in Muay Thai. The only downside to the difference in that is that you don't get immediate input from it. So like, obviously, if I go grab a 300-pound deadlift and I try to just yank it up as fast as possible, I'm going to hurt myself.
Yeah.
If I throw a punch as hard as I can at a pad, the only thing that I risk is looking like I don't know what I'm doing, you know, and there's no physical injury from it. So the input doesn't actually exist in the same way to show you that it's wrong. But it's something that when I'm training Muay Thai athletes and when we're seeing them, you see a lot of individuals trying to just destroy the pads. Like they are, you know, trying to kill them. And then you see some of the ladies on the opposite side, just like you're saying, hitting so light that you're like, well, you're not even breaking a sweat yet. Like we're not even working yet. Like you have to hit it hard.
So for me, I've started taking the women's only Muay Thai class on Saturday. And I know the very first couple of classes that I did, I was very much the very timid, I didn't want to hit too hard on the partner that I had, or
on the pads, right? That they were holding, or on them specifically?
Sometimes we would just like hit
sparring?
hit the gloves.
Oh, okay, glove
And
drills.
I've had partners tell me like, don't aim for my gloves, aim for my face. Like I should be blocking. Right.
Oh, okay.
But when I first started, it was like, well, I don't want to punch you in the face. That seems mean. Like, and I know that's the point of the sport, but like, from a female's perspective, it's like, well, like I'm here to learn and I'm here to get good and I'm here to help them get good, but I don't want to injure them, or I don't, right? So, and I was also super self-conscious about like, well, am I even moving right? Am I standing right? Am I throwing the right way? Like, do I look dumb when I'm doing this, right? But I know that that's also just, I don't know if that's a male thing as well with the whole self-conscious, but I know on the female side, like we're very self-conscious about everything. Like if you're demonstrating a combo that I now need to replicate, if my combo doesn't look exactly like yours, in my brain I'm like, I'm not doing that right. But it's not because I'm doing it wrong. It's because my mechanics of my body are different from the mechanics of your body. But automatically I'm like, mine doesn't look like that, I'm doing it wrong.
Yeah. You're going to Crew Jackie's class, and Crew Jackie is a 105-pound Muay Thai champion, and
she's so smooth,
and she's tiny.
Everything she does, I'm like, how do you move that? Like, I move, I'm all boom, boom, and she's like. Whew.
Angel was making fun of her yesterday in class. He goes, "Hey, so you're going and helping in the kids Muay Thai class, right?" And Crew Jackie's like, "Yeah." She goes, when you first went in there, did Coach Jaime think that you were attending? Because she's little. She's teeny tiny. But it's funny. It's like, you're right. The mechanics are different. And I should go back and kind of correct myself on something that I said. Do men care about like, I guess, self-critiquing themselves, judgment, things like that? And yes, we do. All right. It doesn't look like it because every man is trying to just throw away most of the technique when they first start and just smash stuff. But in a sense, that is the way that we are critiquing ourselves, because men critique themselves in the metrics of strength and athletic ability, whereas I feel like women critique themselves in like competence and replication.
Yeah.
So you're trying to actively try to look like the individual doing the techniques. Men are trying to hit as hard. Yeah, there's a cat in our video now. Yeah, nobody's talking to you. We're not even talking about you. She feels that she needs to interject into conversations, but
It's her debut.
yeah, maybe she's hungry. There she is. Yeah, so welcome to the chat. So yeah, but men tend to think like, oh, well, coach is hitting hard, coach is hitting powerfully. I need to hit hard and I need to hit powerfully. And oftentimes as a coach, I will actually not hit the pads hard, specifically to not try to encourage that, to not try to make it like a competition between men to see who can smash the pads
Harder.
It's more about, I will emphasize like, hey guys, we are turning over the techniques. Remember, go as slow as you need to make this technical. Bye, kitty. So yeah, she's already gone. She's already gone to her next adventure. So that's one of the main things. One of the other things that we see a lot from individuals, especially in Muay Thai and Jiu-Jitsu combined, is not sparring. All right, it's like,
it's because it's scary. When you first start, it is. And as much as everybody wants to say like, well, that's the whole point of it, that's where you get to apply everything you learned or whatever. It's scary. Like I don't enjoy when I first started, and even now I still don't really fully enjoy the sparring in the women's Muay Thai. But I'm trying to like get okay with it and be, right? Like I always love to preach like get comfortable with being uncomfortable. And here I am uncomfortable in the women's class, all hating it. But
you don't hate the women's class, you just hate the sparring.
I hate the uncomfortable part.
Yeah, of sparring. And when you're first starting out, everything is uncomfortable.
Everything's uncomfortable.
Everything is uncomfortable.
You come home and you're sore in places that you never knew you could be sore in. And that sounds silly coming from me because I work out daily and I still come home and I'm like, well, now my calves hurt, or now this in my arms hurt, or whatever. Like, and it's just because you're holding yourself in a different
It's a different
form.
You're using different muscles.
But anywho, go back to your...
No, so it's...
I know a lot of new people don't like to stay and roll.
They don't
like
sparring.
To spar.
And granted, it does take a lot of time, but the other thing is, even if you're doing one round, so like we'll have a half an hour sparring session after every single class, and even a full hour on Saturdays. And this is both Muay Thai and Jiu-Jitsu. Jiu-Jitsu is actually an hour and a half on Saturdays. That doesn't mean you have to do every single round, right? So we'll do every 6 minutes in Jiu-Jitsu. We do a 6-minute round. We do roughly a 1-minute break, sometimes less, and then another 6-minute round. And in that 6 minutes, you're going and you are fighting an individual for 6 minutes, and then you get a 1-minute break, and you're doing it for an hour and a half. So it's exhausting. I understand that. That doesn't mean that you have to do it like every single round. Like you can take a round off. You can take a few rounds off. You can start off by doing 1 round a night, and then increase it to 2 rounds, increase it to 3 rounds, and build yourself up. Nobody says like, oh, I'm starting sparring, I have to go to the very end, right? And kill myself. No, nobody's saying that. And then you can also start off with advanced partners. And it's kind of not something that we think about like this, but everybody thinks like the higher up in belt that I go, the more likely it is that I'm just gonna get my ass kicked. And in reality, when you're new, the higher up you go with your rolling, if you roll with me, I'm a black belt, if you roll with any of our other black belts, you're not gonna experience that. We're gonna be going at your level, we're gonna be working with you, we're gonna be talking with you, because our goal is to get you better. It's not just to like, oh, look at me, I beat up a white belt today. You know, it's like, oh, like, I'm gonna go home and feel good about myself. You know, no, it's our goal is to create more black belts. Every black belt's job as a teacher in an academy is to create more black belts. I can't create more black belts if I just beat every single person who I roll with. So I will often roll at the level of the individual and I will help them through everything. Yeah. Whereas if you get lower into the belts, if I go white belt to white belt, white belt versus white belt, it's a fight to the death. It's always a fight to the death. It's like, oh, well, I'm a white belt, you're a white belt, let's see who's better. And then they kill each other. A white belt to a blue belt, it's sometimes similar to that because blue belts are just getting out of that kind of mental like framework. But sometimes they will be like, oh yeah, you're struggling, let me help you, and then the higher you get, the more people will help you with that. So it's something that I want to encourage everybody to do, because it's one thing to do things in theory. It's like if I learn how to play music by reading all of the notes and learning the chords and everything on a guitar, but I don't ever actually play a song, do I actually know anything? Am I actually like doing anything? It's like I can learn the form to a deadlift, but I don't actually test it by lifting heavy. Even testing myself a little bit by lifting somewhat heavy. Like, how do I know my form's not going to fall apart? How do I know that I'm going to be able to keep form through something that's more challenging? And unfortunately, this is something that I see a lot of a bigger separation between men and women in. Men are more likely to jump right into sparring.
Yeah.
Right? They're more like they don't care. They're like, I'm going to get my ass kicked. They'll even say it's like, well, coach is here to beat my ass today. And I'm like, well, that's not true. I'm trying to get you better, and coaches will go harder on people in Muay Thai if those people are trying to kill us, right? We will, because that's how you kind of learn. I'm not going to, if somebody hits me their hardest, I'm not going to go and hit them my hardest back, but I am going to tag them up a little bit. Be like, hey, let's bring it down now.
Bring out weakness.
Yeah, let's bring it down now. We don't need to go that hard. But on the opposite side of that, you have in the past, I've seen a lot of women who come into our gym who've been like, they've built themselves up. They've looked so good on the pads. Like, they look like you could make an Instagram highlight reel with their pad work, and they could have 100,000 followers on them by how good they look.
Yeah.
And then you put them in a ring and it all falls apart because they don't know how to translate what they're doing on pads to somebody who's actually moving and trying to fight back.
Okay.
Because they don't do it. They come in for like the cardio and the pad work and the technique, but they don't actually apply it. And then they're afraid of getting hit. They're punching like this and stuff like that. It's weird. So you have to have both.
So what do you say to somebody that really enjoys the Muay Thai class, but literally has no desire to actually do the sparring portion or ever compete or be a fighter?
I tell them where the door is.
Oh.
No, that's not true. That's not true. No, honestly, everything is for, like, everybody comes in for their own goals. And it's something that we've had to have discussions with coaches before, because some coaches believe that everybody should be there to fight. But everybody comes in for their own goals. Some people come in for just the camaraderie of being in the gym and having so many cool people to hang out with, friends. And everybody's really awesome to chill with. But some people come in there for the competition. And I would say the people who are in there for the competition, stick with the people who are in there for the competition when you are sparring. Not like in training, not like in hanging out. Don't make it like all cliquey and shit. But like, spar with the people who are trying to be better at sparring, and those who are doing more of the cardio or doing more of the fitness side of that. You don't necessarily have to feel like you're holding them back or not working with them, but I do want you to challenge yourself a bit, because everybody works to get to a comfort zone again. It's like we come in a comfort zone, you have to fight out of that comfort zone. Oh, you're back. Yeah. We have to fight out of a comfort zone when we first walk in the gym. Okay, we're in our comfort zone. We're afraid of going into the gym. We pull ourselves out of the comfort zone. We go into the gym. Then what happens? We train a bit. We get comfortable again. And then we don't want to pull ourselves out of the comfort zone again, right? Yeah. You have to get used to pulling yourself out of that comfort zone to keep improving.
Comfortable getting uncomfortable.
Yeah, you have to get comfortable being uncomfortable. So, and in like jiu-jitsu, don't try to win all the time. That's something that a lot of our men will do, and then they'll compare themselves to everybody else who's training as hard as them, which makes it so it's like the mirror analogy when you're losing weight. It's like if I see myself every single day and I'm trying to lose weight, but I'm looking in the mirror every single day and I don't see it. And then the first time you go back out in public and you haven't seen somebody in 3 months and they're like, wow, you lost a bunch of weight.
Yeah.
Well, the problem is that you're seeing yourself every day compared to everybody else who is doing the exact same amount of training or very close to the same amount of training you are. So the comparison it's the same every day. It's like, well, I come in and every day that guy over there kicks my ass. It's like, okay, well, that guy over there is also training with you. The biggest thing that you have to realize is, would you now kick the ass of you when you started? And the 100%, like 100%, the answer is always yes. Yes, you absolutely would. But everybody's going up, but everybody's comparing across.
Yeah.
Nobody's comparing down. Nobody's looking down and up. Everybody goes this way and everybody goes this way with their vision. But nobody actually looks down. Be like, how far have I come? Nobody looks back on the path. Everybody looks across to people who are walking next to them and be like, oh, we're walking next to each other. Well, since me and you are the exact same position as we were when we started, neither one of us has made any progress.
Yeah.
It's like, well, that's not true.
I feel like you're standing still because you're still losing to the same guy. But
your perception is sideways. Your perception is not behind you.
Is how far you've come along with how far that person has also come.
Yeah. And it makes a lot of people quit.
That's interesting.
It makes a lot of people quit. A lot of our individuals, like when they hit, the reason why so many blue belts quit is 1, self-comparison, 2, because once you've received that first belt and you've seen how hard it is, a lot of people are like, well, shit, I'm only a fifth of the way. This was really hard. I don't want to keep going.
Yeah, it seems out of reach.
And then they've achieved the goal. They've gotten the dopamine hit, and then it's really easy to fall off that wagon and hit a rut. But the biggest thing is they hit ruts. They hit the training ruts where they don't feel like they're improving. And they don't feel, and what I always tell them from that point is, well, then challenge yourself with something different. What is your game? If you're a wrestler, stop wrestling. If you're a guard player, stop playing guard.
Yeah.
If you only roll once a week, roll twice a week. You know, like you have to constantly challenge yourself for growth. It's one of those things. It's almost like I like to compare it to like an adaptogen. An adaptogen in your body for those who are taking say lion's mane mushroom, or some of the other. There's actually so many supplements that are adaptogens, and basically what they do is they make your body work to adapt to make it stronger. All right, it's the way that the herb interacts with your body. And again, this is off the cuff, so I do know more about this, but the adaptogen element of it can be compared a lot to the way that we are in a gym. If you put more weights on your bar, your body has to adapt to that weight, which in a sense makes you stronger. That's how you're building strength. That's how you're building muscle, is you're creating an adaptive process.
Yeah.
But if you're stuck in a rut, you have to build the adaptive process up. You know, and that's what a lot of people run into. So making yourself goals, building on those goals, making those little metrics, those little milestones, will help you to actually build up so you can keep adapting in a way that keeps your growth going. People think that growth is about just like walking a pace or walking a journey, but it's really just adapting to challenges. Every single time you hit a challenge and you stop trying to surpass that challenge, you stopped growing. You've stopped adapting. It's all about adapting. But do you have anything else to say on this topic?
No, I think that we covered a lot of the first initial issues. I think rounding it up is basically trying to politely say, leave your ego at the door.
Leave your ego at the door. Don't hold yourself to some unrealistic expectation of where you think you should be based on everybody else around you. Talk to the people in the gym, you know, ask people for help. In one of the other videos, we talked about having a buddy to keep you accountable. In a lot of ways, you can do that with your ranks, and when you're first starting out as well, is have somebody who can help you to constantly be better. You know, help you improve as you are going through it. Somebody like a mentor in a way. Somebody that
you can be receptive to.
Yeah, somebody that you can listen to. And not everybody's receptive to every coach. Every coach isn't relatable to every single person. So finding that person is extremely important to your progress. And when you're first starting, remember, at least in our gym, I can't speak to all the other gyms, but at least in our gym, nobody is there to try to kill you. Nobody is there to try to kick your ass, try to hurt you, or anything like that. We are all there to try to help each other. Now, when you are first brand new, don't spar with white belts. All right, kind of a plain and simple thing. If you are new, if you are nervous about sparring, spar with more advanced people, because more advanced people when you're first starting are going to get you to where you feel comfortable sparring, and then you can challenge yourself with people at your level, white belts, things like that, or blue belts or whatever. But don't immediately think, I'm a white belt, I need to fight another white belt, because it's not necessary, all right? And you just end up fighting to the death anyway, right? So that's usually how it goes. So I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I hope you guys learned something as well and got some value from it. As always, my co-host Cassie, and I'm Rick, and we will see you on the next podcast. Thanks.